everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is a quick get ready with me. This is my go-to makeup look at the moment. Some people were asking me for my makeup routine, so I thought I'd film it for you. If you're excited for a new video, don't forget to give a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And now let's get started with the video. Okay, so I'm not sure how many times you will hear mama in the background because Aksel is right there. But I'm just going to try to film a real get ready with me if I want to create a quick look. So this is just my go-to makeup look at the moment. So I'm starting off with this Super Goop glow screen. I got some comments of why my makeup looks so glowy, and I would highly recommend using a primer with a little bit of shimmer in it, or just a very glowy primer. And I just use a tiny bit, you don't need to apply too much. And then I'm just using my foundation brush to blend it in.
Staat hier ook in je achterbeen?
Ja, wat heb je daar?
Ik ga dus die glitter in zo.
So Aksel is just playing with some toys in the living room. And I'm always keeping an eye on him, so don't worry. So then I'm going in with my foundation. And like I already mentioned, if I finish this one up, I want to try out a serum based foundation. So it's a bit more glowy and not as thick. In the summertime I don't use that much, but I'm using the Rimmel. And this is called the Match Perfection. And I just use a tiny bit from this to mix with the Super Goop Glow Screen. I don't prefer a super thick base anymore. And I just use a little bit of foundation. I always have a little bit of red in my skin, so I just try to even that out a little bit. And now, because I'm filming, it takes me a bit longer, but I usually can do this look in like 10 or 15 minutes. So that's just a very light base. And then the last thing I'm going to do is apply a little bit of concealer. And this is the Fit Me from Maybelline, and this is in the color 5, which is the lightest shade, I believe. I always use a mix of like more affordable products and some higher end things. And I always have a little bit of blue under my eye, so this is just a great concealer to cover that. Not too thick, but it does give you a beautiful coverage. And then I'm also using my fingers or my brush. If I want to be fast, I use my brush. A little bit of here, because I have some red there. And then underneath my eyes. As you can see, it does brighten up my face a lot. And let me know your favorite concealer. I just love this one at the moment. I apply a little bit more of concealer where I need it. Also on my eyelids. I always use concealer as a base for my eyeshadow. I don't spend money for a eye primer. I find that a bit nonsense. I think you can better use a concealer. Does the same thing. And then I'm going to powder it off, but I'm not going to use too much. And I'm using the Chanel loose powder, and this is called Natural Finish Loose Powder, and this is in the color 20 Clear. And I'm just applying a little bit on my T-zone because my skin is quite dry, and if I use too much powder it goes in all of my fine lines. So I just use it on my chin, above my lip, like where you sweat quickly, especially in the summer because it is hot here. And just a little bit there. And if you apply too much powder, this is a little trick that I use, is just use a little bit of fixing spray on top of the powder. But yeah, I just use it in my T-zone and underneath my eyes. And then one of my favorite products is a bronzer. I'm going in with this one from Golden Rose. This is a very nice shimmery bronzer, and I love a bit of shimmer. So I'm applying that with this brush, which is from Primark. It has a cute Disney pattern. Just going in. And I don't know if you notice it, but I have a little mosquito bite here on my head. In the summertime there are so many mosquitoes here in Turkey. It's crazy. And I always use a bit much, I guess, but I love it. little bit on my nose as well for that sun-kissed look. And then I'm going in with this blush that I got from the Ethos in the Netherlands, which is a beautiful pink shimmer. I love it. And I'm using another brush from the Primark, I believe. Just going in there. And I love a pink shimmery blush. And I also apply a little bit on my nose again for that sun-kissed look. And then the last thing is a bit of highlighter, and I'm using this highlighter for the longest time. I probably should throw it away, but I'm still using it. This is from the Balm, the Mary Luminizer. I use this for such a long time because you only need the tiniest bit, so it goes a very long way. And it also gives you such a nice glowy look. Okay, then I'm going to use a eyebrow pencil. This is from the H&M. I got a few different colors. If I wear like a full face of makeup, I use a slightly darker color. And I also have a lighter one for if I'm not wearing anything. I'm not really sure what's it called. This is called the Super Fine Brow Liner. And this is a dupe for the Anastasia brow pencils. So I'm just filling in my eyebrows a little bit. And my eyebrows are quite thin, so I always need to fill them up a bit. As you can see, such a nice color. And this makes such a huge difference in a short amount of time. Then I'm going to use a little bit of eyeshadow, and I'm using the palette that I'm holding right now. This is from Tarte, and this is my favorite eyeshadow palette for sure. It got the most beautiful shimmery shades and a few matte ones, and I think this is all you need, honestly. I still have loads of palettes, but I'm using this one almost every single day, and as you can see, or every time I wear makeup. So you have these matte ones and these shimmery shades, and they are just great. This is the Tartelette in Spark, and I would repurchase this over and over again, honestly. I think this is just my favorite of all time. I'm just going in with the lightest shades. They are just so creamy, easy to blend. And I think this palette is just great for lots of different skin tones as well. If you're a blonde, brunette, whatever, it will work. Then I'm going in with this slightly darker shades. A bit more on the outer corner, blending that in. You just need a little bit of this. And then I either go in with this one right here, which is a very shimmery, like creamy shade, or this brown one. I don't use the pink that often because it doesn't suit me that much, I think. But this one will make blue eyes pop. This one is just a bit more lighter, casual. I think I'm going for the brown one. And I'm always using my finger for that because it is just the most pigmented that way. So I'm just dabbing that on. As you can see, so gorgeous, honestly. Love it. And this is just the perfect color for blue eyes. So nice. And then if you want to make it a bit more intense, you can also use this darker color in your crease. But I'm not going to do that right now because I think it's already nice like this. Then for mascara, I'm using my Essence Lash Princess Mascara, which is one of my favorite mascaras. So cheap as well. Okay, so that's my mascara. And then for my lips, I'm going for a little bit of a coral look today, which I use these products. They're all from Essence, super affordable. This lip liner, lipstick, and then a plumping gloss. I'm just going in with this lip liner, which has a bit of the color of my lips, but better. And then I'm going in with this lip gloss, or lipstick I mean, which is a little bit of this natural color. So nice. And then this plumping gloss, and this is nice and summery. So this is my current everyday makeup look. Super quick. Because I filmed it, it took me a bit longer, but I can usually do this look in like 10 minutes, I would say. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And I hope to see you guys very soon in one of my other videos. Bye!